JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 15th of December 2020. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. And of course, our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yeah, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So now jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is the German index DAX, and this morning I talked about this and I was saying that I'm cautiously bullish, but I would like to this index to actually travel above the 13,347 territory right here, where it's currently sitting at right now. So basically now it's going to be very interesting to see if we actually can get further above it, and can we actually close above this hurdle. If we can, then yes, of course, this increases the chances for a further move north. However, if it doesn't close above it, yes, we'll still remain, let's say, somewhat positive. Excuse me. Yep, like I said, this barrier here will be heavily monitored, and if we do see that nice good push above this area, above this 13,347, then yep, higher levels could be met, where we could aim for that 13,460 level, marked by the highest point of September here. And as you can see, it kind of got held here. This level got held the index from moving further north in the end of November and also in the beginning of December. So let's keep an eye on that one. An opposite situation here is happening on the FTSE 100. Now, this morning also I've mentioned this one, so this is just a quick update on what I was talking about this morning. Basically what I was saying, that keep your eyes on the pound, the British pound, because as we know, if the pound goes higher, FTSE tends to go lower due to the fact that the majority of FTSE 100 companies are actually making their earnings outside of UK. So basically a stronger pound is not really working well for this index. What I was saying as well, that in a way, in order to get a little bit more excited with the downside, I would actually prefer to wait for a drop and a daily close below this 6,464 territory right here, in order to get a little bit more excited with a little bit lower areas. But again, we're still here. Yes, of course, it is leaning a little bit more. We are leaning a little bit more towards the downside here. However, I'm waiting for that drop here below this 64 level. In terms of the S&P 500, now I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but basically the situation here is a little bit difficult, I would say. I mean, although yes, we are still kind of moving higher, and on one hand we have ourselves an upside support line right here. We can draw it something. Basically, it's not an ideal one. I mean, it's a very tentative one. Nevertheless, we can keep it on the chart here. For example, if we draw it from the low of the 6th of November, we captured this little low here of the 23rd of November, and yes, and the low of the 11th of December as well. So basically, for now, we can see that the price is still kind of balancing above this upside line, despite declining yesterday. If we look at the cash index right now and where it's currently sitting at, we'll see that the price is sitting in near the 3,673 territory. So basically above the above yesterday's closing price here, and well, not far from the opening price where it opened, well, of yesterday, let's put it this way. So so nevertheless, we're still basically above this upside line, so there is a good chance for this one to move further north. Initially, of course, we will aim only for the all-time high, which is around the 3,712 territory right here. Of course, the cash index has a little bit of a higher number, but nevertheless, yep, this is kind of during main trading hours. That's the level I'm going to be keeping an eye on, and yep, let's see if we can actually create a new all-time high. Jumping into another index, DXY, and yep, we are kind of drifting, let's say we're trying to drift below that 90.59 level, and yep, for now we're just kind of sitting at that level. It's not really, yes, of course we are leaning a little bit more towards the downside. However, I told you guys to be very careful and wait for that daily candle staying below this area, because at the moment, I mean, we only keep seeing these false breakouts, so that's not really working well for the sellers. And yeah, if this by any chance somehow reverses higher and makes its way above this little hurdle right here, the 90.24 zone marked by the high of the 7th of December, now that's where it could become a little very interesting for the buyers, and we could see this index moving a little bit further north, but let's not forget that overall the trend is still to the downside, guys. So this move higher could still be seen as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. But again, that's the idea for a break of this short-term downside line taken from the high of the 4th of November and the push above this 91.24 level. So, and then, like I said, we'll go for that larger correction to the upside. Now silver, silver is moving nicely to the upside. So silver is trading higher today. Of course, weaker dollar is helping out here, this commodity. However, as I mentioned to you guys previously, that I would prefer to wait for at least a push above the 24.86 territory right here, marked by the current highest point of December, and then aim for some higher levels. At the moment, we're not really getting that, so yeah, for now it's just going to be the way it's going to be. I mean, we're just going to take a neutral stand and wait for a violation through one of these levels, Ripple. So Ripple is moving nicely to the downside. I mean, unlike some other cryptos that are pushing a little bit more north, this one's actually heading south, and it's working out nicely according to all the rules I talked about on my Monday video. Basically, what I was saying, that in a way, if it drops below the 0.5050 territory, now that's where it could become very interesting for more sellers, and we needed to see that daily candle staying below that area. As you can see, yesterday we got that, and yep, a beautiful continuation move lower here. Today, of course, you can see that we did have a test of the 0.5050 territory, but failed to stay above it, and yep, that's the result we're seeing right now. We're seeing a push south here. We're testing the high of the 21st of November right now, but my next target is going to be this this low of the 26th of November near the 0.4596 level, and then I'll take it from there, because of course, if that fails to provide support, my next target is the low of the 22nd of November here near the 0.4027. So keep your eyes on that one. In terms of the upside, I would actually prefer to maybe wait for a break of this downside line taken from the high of the 25th of November. Now, don't get me wrong, we do have another tentative downside line drawn from the highest point of November right here, which is drawn like this. But even if we break this downside line, still we have this one to overcome, and to be honest, both of these lines are tentative, so might as well wait for a break of this this slightly flatter one drawn from the high of the 25th of November, and then get a little bit more excited with the upside. For now, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside. Now jumping into AUDJPY, and okay, so once again we're seeing a possible formation of a bullish flag. So as you can see, last time we had it here, for example, in the end of November, then we had one in the beginning of December, and now we're having around one in mid-December. So again, don't get me wrong. I mean, first of all, before we could class this as a potential bullish flag, we would need to see a nice good pop here above the current highest point of December. And let me just grab one of these lines. I'm going to recycle those. So I'm going to get rid of this a little bit here. So let me just grab this line right here, guys. And that's the level I'm talking about, the 78.78 level. We did manage to overcome the highest point of August, so that's great news. Yep, but didn't really kind of stay above it. So we're now back below this highest point of August, and the pair right now is drifting lower. However, this little movement here could be seen, again, could be classed as a potential bullish flag. So of course, let's not rush into anything yet. If we want to get a little bit more excited with that idea, I would still prefer to wait for a pop above that 78 territory and then aim for some higher levels. If the decline continues here and we see a test of this upside line, then all eyes are going to be on this level right now. So previously I had the level a little bit lower, but now this one's going to be in focus, and that's the high of the 10th of September. And then yeah, we'll take it from there, guys, because maybe if this upside line breaks and we see the rate falling below this 77.74 territory, there we go, then yes, we could consider maybe a bit of a larger decline. So keep your eyes on that one. USDJPY, very quickly here. I talked about this one recently, and basically it's a bit of a roller coaster, and also I've mentioned this one, guys, this morning and yesterday as well. But what I was saying this morning, that yes, we had a great move higher, but once again we failed to move above, or should I say move and in this case move and stay above the this 21-day EMA. I mean, basically we're now drifting back down again. However, as I mentioned to you previously as well, that I would prefer to wait for that daily candle to stay below this 103.65 territory and then go for lower areas, because yesterday we had a break here, but look at this sharp reversal back up. So that's not really great to see for the sellers, but if we do see that daily candle remaining below this hurdle, then yep, my next target is the lowest point of November near the 103.18, or maybe slightly below that, but we'll see. I'll pick up on this one later on. GBPUSD. So the problem, or should I say the problem why the culprit of why FTSE 100 is having a problem today, we can see that the pound is getting stronger and it's pushing a little bit more to the upside. However, again, I told you this morning, keep your eyes on this downside line taken from the high of the 4th of December, because currently it does provide good resistance. So let's see if it can continue doing that. If it fails to do that and breaks, and we see the rate traveling above this 1.3413 territory and then the daily candle remaining above that area, now that's where it could become very interesting again for more buyers. So far this downside line remains intact, well, actually apart from yesterday of course, but for today it remains intact. But to be honest, as I mentioned to you previously as well, that I would prefer the rate to drop back below the 1.3287 territory right here in order to get a little bit more excited with lower areas. And finally, EURUSD. So this one, once again, the same kind of idea remains. Oh, let me just remove the Fibonacci, or no, not the Fibonacci, the rising channel, but actually let me just quickly use that in my today's analysis. So basically for now, everything's kind of leaning a little bit more towards the upside. However, as I've mentioned to you, I need that strong move above this 1.2155 territory. And basically for now, yes, we did get another test, another push above that area, but Can we actually get that daily candle staying above this area? Well, again, we need to wait, because at the moment we just keep getting these false breakouts, but we don't really get that daily candle staying. So if once we get that daily candle staying above that area, above that 1.2155, yes, great news. We could start aiming for higher levels. At the moment, it's not really working well here, in a way, I would say, for the bulls. But if we do see that daily candle remaining above this 1.2155, then yes, higher levels could be met. So be very careful for now. And let's continue targeting the upside. But also something to support the upside is this idea that I kind of started looking at recently. Basically, the pair could be forming a possible rising channel right now on the monthly chart. You can clearly see that here. So basically, in other words, if it continues to rally here, it might reach these levels, the levels of the highest point of 2018, which is around the 1.2555 zone, or it could end up traveling further north, testing the upper bound of the potentially rising channel here, and test that psychological 130 territory as well. But again, that's probably still a long road ahead. For now, the main question here is, can it actually overcome again and stay above this 1.2155 territory? If it can, great news for the buyers. If it cannot, back to kind of being neutral here, because for me to consider the downside, I would need to see a break of this short-term upside support line drawn from the low of the 4th of November. So guys, I'll have to wrap it up here. I hope you found it useful, and I can see, yep, likes. Thank you very much for the like, guys. Really appreciate that. So I hope, like I said, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. If you want to catch my video tomorrow morning, as always, my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.